what is sustainability? Actually, it is to meet our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Everybody thinks that sustainability is just environmentalism, but it is not. It should be all together with economic and social parts. I mean, when we are surviving in the environment, we should survive both economically and socially. They should be all together to survive for sustainability. I found a story in University of California website about how to explain sustainability. They say that it's very simple. If you have to cut a tree in a forest, and you have to be sure that the forest will survive with other trees. Or if you are fishing in a river, that should not be the last fish of the river. There should be other fishes, and the family fishes should survive. I mean, it's a kind of replacement rate, and we should not spoil the balance. We should keep the balance always. How we measure this effects on the environment? With sustainability, we started to hear other terms: greenhouse gases, global warming potential, carbon dioxide equivalent, and carbon footprint. Among all these, carbon footprint is very important. This paper is published in 2019, before the pandemic. And we can see other papers published about green dentistry around 2018. But Duane and his group are from Dublin, and they published about too many papers about sustainability. So what is carbon footprint? It's a measure of the amount of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere as a result of the activities of a particular individual, organization, or community. This is a very important term we have to know. Now, normally, when looking at the carbon emissions, we are always very much nervous about waste materials and plastic used in dentistry. You can see here single-use plastics in dentistry is mostly produced in the Department of Operative Dentistry with direct restorations, and then endodontics, and then prosthodontics, periodontology, oral surgery. These are the how we use single-use plastics in the field of dentistry. But when we look at the whole cake, the waste of materials are just 0.2%. The most important is patient travel, staff commuting, and procurement. These are dangerous for the environment. Plastic use is also dangerous in dentistry, but we have to be careful about this three piece of cakes. And that's why long-lasting restorations are necessary for the safety of the environment. This paper is published after the big lockdown, 2021, and the paper is about awareness and barriers to sustainability in dentistry. And in this paper, the authors discussed about 8 main topics: energy use, pedagogy, waste prevention, biodiversity, procurement, decontamination, and travel. And at the end of the paper, they all came to a conclusion, and they said preventive dentistry, minimal intervention dentistry, we have to be conservative all the time for the sake of environment. And minimal invasive or biomimetic dentistry, we can say that a biomimetic restorative dentistry uses always the rules of minimal invasive dentistry. So both terms are okay for sustainability. Now, looking at this images in this patient, we can see that everything seems very nice. So no missing teeth, the gum is okay, the patient seems, or the oral hygiene is good, the patient seems okay. We can say that the environment impact is low in this case. But looking at this case, there are missing trees, missing teeth, and there are some restorations maybe need to be replaced. Here is a broken restoration, and the crowns seem not good, and the oral hygiene is not good. So we can say that the environment impact of this mouth is high. Biomimicry is a vehicle for sustainability. So in order to survive in the nature, we have to biomimic the nature. And coming to the protocols of biomimetic restorative dentistry, this is the very famous paper. It becomes our guidebook, and we have to follow these rules to provide long-lasting conservative restorations, which are helpful for the environment. Now I want to show you a case. This is a 40 years old composite restoration here, and a 45 years old gold inlays. They seem very nice and still satisfactory. And the patient is very important here. The patient is Mrs. Fusayama. This picture is taken in this year, June, when she was 96 years old, and the operator is Professor Fusayama, and this picture is provided by Junji Tagami. He gave me this picture, and looking at the 42 years old materials and techniques, this is really very nice restoration. And the second case is by Professor Tagami. This is a 40 years old composite restoration. There is some small problem here, but the material seems and the restoration seems still very much satisfactory. And possibly in those years, these materials were used. I remember only clear field photo bond and this composite resin. And now the materials are very much improved, and we should expect maybe a more better clinical success. But even these materials, they just obtained, they provided very nice long-term restorations.